Love you.
Good morning. It is Sunday. I think it's like the 6th of August. It's that weekend anyway. I'm just after parking up the car. I'm gonna go for a little bit of a short walk around the park. I am just not feeling the best kind of physically, like just having a lot of pain at the moment, and then of course that's kind of getting to me mentally as well because it's just a bit relentless, not ideal. And I know that in spite of really just not feeling like moving at the moment, it's times like this when I really need it the most. I'm gonna eat myself a banana. Hello? Hello? I'm looking for a sense of purpose and a will to live. Oh god. Like less than a mile around the track and just went back to the car. Walking usually helps both conditions that I have, but today it was a hindrance and we get days like that, so I just said nah, I've had enough, I'm going home. But I got out in the air for a little while and saw some like lovely insects busying themselves around the gardens and stuff, so that was nice. But when I got home I just finished off the book that I have been reading. I actually mentioned this one in my TBR, so it's one of the rare books in my TBR that I'm actually gonna have in my wrap up. It was Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller, and it's about two twins who are in their 50s and they live with their mum, and something happens to their mum and it's kind of what happens afterwards. So they're living in absolute poverty in this cottage that needs a lot of work. It's a lot about how they cope with having no money and how they hide it, and it's about their relationship with each other and then with the kind of people in the village around them, and they're seen as a bit strange but they're doing the best that they can with what they have. It's a lot as well about like the cruelty of people, and it was quite sad. I haven't read a book like that in a while because I've just been like reading a lot of fantasy books, but I've been craving a bit of kind of contemporary or literary fiction lately. So I gave it 3.5 stars. It for me felt like it was missing something, but it was also a really lovely portrait of two people who are just really trying to do their best, trying to overcome some hurdles that are in place, that some hurdles that seem, you know, when you really look at them they seem like really silly and really inconsequential, but were huge for them and created huge difficulties for them. And yeah, it's left me just feeling a bit sad and deflated about humanity. Changed into my pajamas because cozy day, and I made myself a little cup of coffee in my Matilda mug, which I have here. I love it, and shock horror, it is decaf instant. I'm not fussy about coffee. I'm not like a huge coffee aficionado. I'm sorry if you're offended, but it is what it is. I'm actually going to read a little bit of Heartstopper because I have them all on my shelves, but I've only read 1 and 2, so I have number 3 to go, and I've actually started the 2nd season on Netflix, and it feels weird watching it without having read the graphic novel first, so that's what I'm going to do for the afternoon. up during the night to like this banging noise, this one bang, and I was like, oh, the cat's been into something, but I'm going back asleep. So I came in this morning, it's Tuesday morning, to see what kind of mischief she's been up to. So she's like been on top of the shelf section of my desk, knocking things over, but what is truly annoying is that she has knocked over my Lego plant. And I have to try and make that again from memory. Thanks, cat. So it is still Tuesday morning. It's like 10:30 and I'm still sitting here in my pajamas. I've just been having a bit of a slow morning. I'm still not feeling great, and that's okay. That's okay. There's a difference between pain and suffering, right? So I keep trying to tell myself anyway. I've been having a slow morning and I've been reading a little bit of my book. So what I'm reading at the moment is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I actually didn't like this cover at first because I just thought it was a load of like shapes and just didn't make any sense, but it's actually quite nice. I wasn't necessarily intending on reading this book right now, but again, it's one of those ones that came in from the library, and at the moment it feels like so many of my library hauls are just coming in like boom, boom, boom the whole time. So I'm reading it now whether I want to or not, because I do want to, but I just don't feel in the mood for it right now. But it is written by Chloe Gong, who wrote These Violent Delights and the sequel to that. I can't remember what it's called, but I haven't read either of them. But this is her adult debut, I believe. And we follow a world in which we're in this kind of city and it is ruled by a monarchy. So we have a king, and it's a little bit difficult for me to explain. What am I? I'm about 80 pages in and I'm starting to get the grasps of it, but it feels like it's quite heavily political in some ways. We are following this kind of game in which I think there are like 88 participants or something along those lines. But in this world, there are people who can jump from body to body, so their consciousness can kind of jump from body to body, and it's illegal, but people kind of still do it anyway. And so there is this competition. I think it's run annually, so it's like set across this city, and we have all of these participants, and they're all basically trying to kill each other, and the person that comes out on top wins loads of money and glory. And this society is really poor, it's really not well cared for. There is a sentence in this somewhere along the line, and it said something along the lines that people aren't killed, they're left to rot, because they're living in just really not great conditions. And so this is why people try to risk themselves through this competition, thinking that they can better their situations by entering this competition, killing however many other people and winning all the glory and all the money. So far I'm relatively enjoying it. You know, with a fantasy you're kind of a bit like, huh? For the first little while, so I'm starting to settle into it. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I'm not super enjoying it, but I don't hate it either. I don't feel inclined to pick it up though. But I'm going to continue on with it, and hopefully it's good. I've heard good things about it. I'm going to practice my yoga now, which I do daily and have done for years daily, and some days I love it, and on days like today I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I want to try fix that Lego massacre that Oscar left for me yesterday. You will have seen me in the Comoras, so they're mountains about a 40-minute drive from here, and we went to see Mahon Falls. So it's, as you've seen, it's a waterfall, and it's in this really nice location, so it's in the mountains. It's just a completely unusual location. I always think it's interesting that we as humans love to go up mountains. What does that say about us? We love to get up high and to really grasp the gravity of how little we are in the grand scheme of things. So that was lovely and strangely profound. I went with a couple of friends, we got a little bit of lunch afterwards and just came home, and I just kind of chilled out for the day. My niece and nephew were here. I didn't feel incredibly energized or able to play with them all that much, which I always feel bad about, because like they're only little kids, and here I am being a mopey grump and not feeling well, and it's not my fault that I don't feel well, but it's also not their fault that I don't feel well. So that's one of those things that you kind of have to grasp living with chronic pain, but it is what it is. It's not like I was like, get away from me or anything. Like, I was playing with them, but sometimes I wish I could be that little bit more active with them. They're 2 and 3 years old, so they're only babies. Like, they don't understand. I have had my lunch and showered and all of that fun stuff, and I'm gonna do a little bit of like desky stuff now. So while I'm sitting at my desk, I recently discovered these things. I go outside barefoot. I'm filthy like that. I wash my feet, I keep them clean, but anyway, I recently discovered like they're like foot socks, and they're for moisturizing your feet, and they're hilarious. They look like this. So like, oh, they smell lovely, they smell like coconut. So there's 2 boots there, and you literally like cut down the middle here and then like put your feet in for 20 minutes, and there's all this like moisturizer stuff inside, and it feels really gross but nice. So that's what I'm gonna do. Job done. So I am like officially oozing sex appeal with these lovely socks. I put my actual socks on over them because I've learned that they're very slippy to try to walk around in. Top tip. Hello, it's Thursday and chaos has finally been restored with the Lego stuff and with my desk. It took me a hot second, I won't lie. I'm not very good at vlogging, so as I said, it's Thursday. I think the last time I took out this camera was Tuesday. So yesterday was really hot for some weird reason, which it has not been here. Like, it was like 26 degrees, and today it's like back in the mid-teens again. One day only. It's also raining again today. I don't know, yesterday was a bit of an outlier, but when it's really hot I can't do anything. I just get too sweaty and I'm like, nah, I'm under too much pressure. But yeah, so I feel like I also, for like somebody who's supposed to be shooting a reading vlog, I feel like I haven't really been reading much. Oops. Could be the books that I'm reading. So as I mentioned before, I've been reading Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. At the moment I think I'm only about halfway through it, and like it's not that long, it's like less than 350 pages. Last night I won't lie, I was so tempted to DNF it. I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. I just wasn't connecting with the characters, and the story was just like, what? Like, it's not that complicated, but it's just, I wasn't like really grasping it for some reason. But I picked it up again this morning and I think I'm just more in the mood for it now again. I don't know what was going on. I am withdrawing from a medication, so there's that. It's making me a bit like spaced out. The joys of medication, right? It would be helpful if I'd used a bookmark, but I think I'm about 170 pages in now. So we're following a few different characters, so it's kind of multiple POVs. So some of the characters are kind of part of the Regency. So there is a prince and there then is a princess who was assumed to be dead. This is not a spoiler, it's like kind of at the very beginning of the book. And then there was somebody else who used to belong in the court as well but doesn't anymore. And some of these are actually playing the games, so they are out to murder each other, and they've just discovered who each of the other one is, because as we remember, we might not see people in their own bodies, so that makes it really difficult obviously to identify people or to recognize people. Hi Oscar. That's where we are with that. There's like obviously more to it, but yeah, there's that. And then so on audio I have been listening to City of Fallen Angels, so it is the 4th Mortal Instruments book. It's a lot more of the same, but at least we're back in New York. I kind of didn't really enjoy the 3rd book that much, and I think it might have been to do with the lack of New York in it maybe. There is like a new villain
So the first 3 books had the one antagonist, and now this one seems to have picked up on a new one. Otherwise it's kind of more of the same, but it's grand, I'm enjoying it. And then like quite a few library holds came in. So apart from Immortal Longings, which is a library book, then we have 4 others. So what is it with holds coming in at the same time? Age of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, which is this one. It is the 2nd book in the Legends of the First Empire series. So I read Age of Myth, which was the first one last month. Really enjoyed it. Quite pastoral, thought it was a little bit slow in the beginning, but loved it by the end. Really loved the characters, so I'm looking forward to getting to this when I have the opportunity. Mortal Follies then was a book that was recommended by Katie from Katie's All Booked when I put out a little bit of a question box on Instagram to ask if anybody could recommend any cozy books that might be good on audio. So I didn't actually get this one on audio, but I put it as a hold at the library. I just felt like it might be something I'd like to get to, so I really am hoping to get to this before I have to bring it back. They Just Sad Air. I've heard really good things about this, don't know much about it, don't know if I'll manage to get to it before I have to bring it back, so I'm not even going to mention that too much. And then I started this one last night because I wasn't feeling Immortal Longings, which was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I haven't read her Caraval series, so she's a new author to me. Hi Ask. She always appears when there's a camera around. She's amazing. And it is essentially a bit of kind of a whimsical fantasy romance, so I think I'll enjoy it. I just feel like that's kind of what I'm in the mood for lately, so that's that. Hello pet. Nuisance. And I also didn't want to let this vlog go by without mentioning, because I know that I made a video about books that I got for my birthday, but there was one that arrived a couple days after I'd filmed that video, and then I felt really bad because I was like, oh, I want to say how great you are to YouTube, but I'm going to do that now. So Maddie from As Told by Maddie sent me a book, which was We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, and I just honestly, thank you so much, Maddie. You're the sweetest, kindest, loveliest human, and I'm so excited to get to it. It's one that's been on my wish list for a long time. I read The Haunting of Hill House last year, I think in October, and I had watched the series and enjoyed it, thought it was grand, then read the book and like realised that they had taken lots of creative license with the TV show, and the book was so much more pared back and felt less like a kind of a jump horror, just much more atmospheric, and I really enjoyed her writing, so I'm really looking forward to reading this as well. I actually don't know that much about it, but I just hope it has that same kind of atmospheric kind of vibe going on, kind of creepy, kind of like Shirley Jackson-esque writing. Look at this menace. Wrecks me head every day. I love her to bits. But yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I'm hoping to read it in October. If I can hold out that long, I might read it in September. It's basically like autumn here anyway, so, but yes, thanks so much again, Maddie.
Here I am back in my pajamas, because who would I be if I stayed indoors with shoes or real clothes on? Anyway, I mentioned that I have been working on a crochet project, so my first ever crochet project, like ever. I used to knit. I still can knit, but I never really finished anything because it's just such a slow process, and I was like delighted to be shown by my friend how to actually crochet. And I came across this blanket a couple of years ago and decided I'm going to learn to crochet and I'm going to make this particular blanket. And okay, it's a few years later, but better very late than never. This is what we've got so far. Hello pals, it is Friday. We have somehow made it through the week. Just popping on to check in. I actually managed to finish Immortal Longings last night, which is mad because like 2 nights ago I was like, I am 100% DNFing with this book. I just can't. But I brought it to a coffee shop yesterday morning and just filtered out the world and kind of read on a bit and started to get into the story. So I actually looked it up as well, and
this book. The two kind of main characters, so the Princess Cala and then the other guy that was of the court but is not anymore, Anton, they are based on Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra characters. I have never read nor have I seen that play, so I can't really comment on that. Their relationship got quite interesting and there was a bit of combat which was quite exciting, and the whole being able to jump from body to body thing was great, and some secrets came to light and some things happened and it was what it was. The ending was very good, but it was very rushed, I feel, to be honest. I gave it 3 stars in the end, but I don't know that I'll continue with the trilogy when the next one comes out. We'll see. I just found it a little bit lackluster. I don't know why, what was missing. Maybe the world building was just a bit like, I didn't hate it, but like 3 stars is a solid read, but I don't know especially that I would recommend it as a fantasy book. There's so much better reads out there, so sorry Chloe Gong. Today I went into town. I had to pick up some bits and bobs. I've had this bit of a saga going on with reading journals, so I bought one, I don't know, maybe like 2 years now. Oh, there's my little doggy. And 2 years ago now, and I bought it from Book Depository. I'm really fussy with notebooks, with paper, and then with like the sections in them, like I want them to say certain things, and just a lot of them I come across haven't really been suiting me. So I bought this one anyway and it never showed up and I got refunded for it, and ever since I've been looking for one that I actually like and I just can't find one. So I've made the executive decision to just make my own one, because it's been like 2 years and I can't find a reading journal, and I want to write a little bit about my books because my memory doesn't work, so it'll be helpful in terms of reading wrap-ups, which you know I don't like filming because my memory doesn't work, and just in general it'll be nice to have a little bit of a place to kind of put my thoughts about my books and to be able to look back on what I've read and what I've enjoyed and what I haven't, and blah 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 blah. So I got this lovely Design Works ink notebook. It's got this lovely kind of soft cover and it's really nice. It's A4 and it's lined, which I don't know, maybe I would have preferred dotted. I used to bullet journal religiously. I haven't done it in years either because my life isn't full enough anymore to have anything to write on the pages, and by full enough I mean my life is very full. I'm quite happy in general, but I mean like task wise I don't have enough things to do every day for it to feel worth it, or I just kind of fell out of it. But I got myself some little washi tape as well, so I'm gonna start this from, I guess, August. My little dog is burrowing away under the bed to her heart's content, whatever it is about under the bed. But anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going for dinner later with my mum and my aunt, and the place that we're going I think has a vegan curry on the menu, which suits me to head. So yeah, that's that for the day. Gonna repot some plants, finally put my moss bowl into my monstera. It's kind of growing all over the place at the moment and it's really falling over, and it's really time that I just sorted it out. The poor plant, like, it's been through so much. I think it's had thrips like 3 times, and I do my best, look, I do my best. Friday evening. I am very full of dinner. I'm gonna sign out here. Thank you so much for watching as ever. I feel like this was a little bit haphazard. It was probably the slowest reading week I've had in a while. Maybe not the best week to do a reading vlog, but you get what you get. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's your thing. If not, absolutely no worries. Mind yourself, mind each other, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye bye.